Previously on Game of Thrones. In a kind of Red Wedding 2.0, Arya disguised as Frey enlightens his men that the North never forgets. Bran returns to the North, where Jon is so concentrated on the White Walkers he forgets about Cersei, who meanwhile is also strategizing. Samwell is in the Citadel and asks the actor who plays Professor Slughorn for access to the restricted section to prepare himself for the White Walkers. Ed Sheeran and his team invite Arya for dinner on her way to the North, where the Hound is forewarned of things to come. Samwell learns a few tricks for the White Walkers to pass on to Jon, and Daenerys, Tyrion and her dragons return home and start hatching a plan of her own.
Shall we begin?
Daenerys earns the loyalty of Varys, telling him to speak for the people she is trying to win over. The Red Woman is invited in, telling Daenerys she is part of a prophecy to bring dawn to the land. Daenerys then summons Jon Snow to bend the knee and fight alongside her, while Cersei warns her people of the dangers of the Mother of Dragons. We learn that Jorah Mormont's grayscale is not far off killing him, but Samwell performs a forbidden procedure to help cure him. And Cersei learns of a dragon's weakness. Jon Snow accepts Daenerys' invitation against his men's will, as he wants to make weapons against the White Walkers made of Dragonglass, which is found on her land. Arya and friends are attacked by Euron's fleet, and they are captured on Cersei's command, leaving Theon reenacting the ending of Titanic. Jon Snow warns Daenerys that Cersei is not the enemy, and they need to work together to fight the White Walkers, and Daenerys refuses to heed his warning. Cersei's prisoners are brought before her, and she poisons Arya's daughter like Arya poisoned hers. Daenerys comes around and agrees to let Jon Snow mine the Dragonglass, and Sansa is reunited with Bran. Jorah's grayscale is healed by Samwell's procedure, so he heads back to the side of the Mother of Dragons, who is plotting revenge on Euron for attacking her fleet. In the meantime, taking over Casterly Rock, whose real armies were elsewhere. Although successful in taking over, they are interrupted by Euron's fleet once again, and Casterly Rock proves to be no advantage. After being overrun, Jaime poisons Olenna Tyrell, who whilst dying admits she was the one to kill Joffrey. Cersei steals her new overrun kingdom's riches to pay back her debt to the Iron Bank. Bran becomes less himself and more the three-eyed raven when Arya comes home and is reunited with him and Sansa. Daenerys said she will lend her armies and dragons in the fight against the Night King if Jon Snow bends the knee. However, for now, she needs to focus on Cersei. Daenerys shows mercy and gives Cersei's army a chance to bend the knee, killing those who refuse.
Dracarys.
Cersei learns that this may not be a battle they can win. Jon Snow shares a moment with Drogon, and Daenerys is reunited with Mormont. Jon leaves to fetch a White Walker from beyond the wall to bring to Cersei to warn her, and Tyrion lets Jaime in on what's going on. Jaime then warns Cersei, who is now pregnant with their child. Samwell grows tired of the Maesters, takes the books he needs for defeating the army of the dead, and heads back north. Arya finds a scroll proving that Sansa can be manipulated by Cersei, which Sansa doesn't want to get out. In the north, Jon and the gang get their hands on a White Walker, however not without alerting the entire army. Jon sends for help, which arrives right on time, but not without sacrifice. Jon at last bends the knee, and the Night King pulls Viserion from the depths and converts him to a blue-eyed dragon. The Mother of all meetings sees the Mother of Dragons set foot in the Iron Kingdom to come to a truce with Cersei, who accepts after seeing what they're up against, but changes her mind when Jon admits his allegiance to Daenerys. Tyrion pleads with Cersei and discovers she's pregnant, and succeeds in convincing her to reconsider reconsidering. Or did he? Sansa learns of Arya's many faces, which further adds to the tension between them, but after realising the cause of all their problems, Littlefinger gets what's coming to him. Theon shows the Greyjoys who's boss, and Bran shows us who Jon Snow really is, a Targaryen that is the heir to the Iron Throne, which means Jon sleeps with his aunt. Meanwhile, at the Wall, the Great War has begun.